very play with a lot of harassment, and here it is in the south position. The Korean Terran from TSL, it is Puma. And in the left position from StarTale, the hero of the GOMTV Team Leagues, it is StarSquirtle. Now, Jeff, in your experience on this map, with Protoss being in these close positions, are there certain styles that you would favor exclusively just based on those proxy air spots?
I mean, whatever you're going to do, at the back of your mind, you always have to take into consideration that you are just moments away from a dropship entering your base and making you cry tears. So you need to be, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to change your strategy entirely, but you always have to be aware of that. So there's things like extending your vision by putting pylons along that perimeter, but leaving stalkers behind as you develop your army, be it Colossus, Templar, or even Double Forge.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of players will do the reverse, try to exploit some sort of Void Ray play, but I'm always a little leery of players overcompensating. Again, it's that whole overthinking curse you never want to fall into, where you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm in close air positions, maybe I could just go Void Ray and he won't be prepared. Right. You know who's probably going to be pretty damn well prepared for this tournament? It's going to be Puma, Jeff.
It might be Puma.
It could be the case.
He is actually known in Korea as one of the best practice partners you can possibly have, which that translates for us in America as you are like a really good sparring partner for a big boxer. So he's seen it all. He's taken the punches, and he is capable of withstanding anything, and that includes the Void Ray openings or Phoenix openings that we see as well.
Interestingly, Puma's a really big practice machine. I mean, having grown up in a Brood War house playing competitively, but you know, a lot of people like to give most of the credit to those S-class Brood War players and their transition over. Puma was much more, like you said, of a practice partner, never really had too much success on the big stage, but what this means is that he's very versatile, because as a practice partner, people would approach him and say, I need you to do this to me, I need you to do this to me. So rather than really working on his own specific style for the tournament, he got the chance to dabble in a lot of varieties. So we can see plenty of that in his harassment focus. And what is this? He just let the probe right on in.
To your point, I mean, to give people a perspective of what it's like to be like a team practice partner, you know when your mom asks you to pull weeds and you're like, oh, Mom, that's going to take me like an hour. In Korea, if you're a practice partner, it's like, oh, Mom, that's going to take 12 hours. And that's pretty much what they had to go through on a daily basis. But he did it proudly because that was what he wanted, it was his passion. And now we can see it paying off as he's here in Ontario, California.
And he now has experience with a wide variety of weeds. Always important to have that practice under your belt. There's a factory going down by Puma. This could be a sign of some sort of Banshee opening. Generally, when you have the factory planted far away, that's a good signal. But
he pulled the Protoss player pulled gas off his second gas.
Oh, wow!
And I think this is after he was scouted, so he's doing a little bit of a mind game early on here.
Yeah, I love this play. You go for an early expand, you pull guys out of gas to get it just a little bit earlier. Guys will head back into gas momentarily. And it looks like, we're seeing a little bit of stalker pressure at the front. It's not going to be too big of a deal, but that starport is en route, and a Hellion is being produced from the factory.
I mean, with my detective skills, I think there's going to be a quick drop.
Oh.
Hellions are coming out, but it looks like he's going to swap it out for a Tech Lab, so actually I could be very wrong here. It could be Cloak Banshee, but I'm not quite sure. I think that Tech Lab's going to finish slightly after the starport. So either this is mistimed, which is kind of a weird thing for Puma, or it is just, in fact, going to be a quick drop here.
We do see that robotics facility coming out by Squirtle. Fairly early robotics facility, given that he early expanded in the way he did. And, you know, Puma is having his Hellion do a little bit of roasting, get a little bit of vision control. But with Puma going for this relatively fast reactor on the bear, he's not quite going to have the money that he needs to do some sort of early expand. And, wow, Puma getting a Viking and a tank up. This is a very interesting opening we're seeing.
I do hope that...
Nice pick there.
Someone needs to tell Puma that this is not TvT. He's getting a Viking out and a tank as well as Marines. This could be some kind of elevator play or, again, just some kind of quick push, which I think is going to be a little bit problematic because Squirrel's done a fantastic job of adding additional infrastructure after the expansion. So not only is he going to have an increased income, but he's going to be able to spin that with more production buildings.
We're starting to see more and more the brilliance of Puma's opening. He started a Viking, scouted with the Hellion, and canceled it immediately. The Viking was a contingency backup in case some sort of Void Ray play was coming. We've seen Squirtle loves that air pressure, and now it looks like Puma might be gearing up to do is doing a push at this vulnerable location along the right side. And in the meantime, he's just going to do a scouting medevac, Jeff.
Scouting medevac, yeah. He might want to try to freak him out a little bit, I guess, but Squirtle's ahead of him once again. Stalker's left in the back of the base. So like I said, in these close air positions, even if you are aware of it as that observer now enters the base and he knows exactly what's going on, you need to have that at the back of your mind just regardless because of the positions of the map.
And it looks like Puma was trying to catch up to Squirtle's observer, trying to see if he could scan to pick it off. We now see an Immortal getting produced by Squirtle. And, you know, Squirtle is doing a very solid opening style, getting a lot of gateways, which will help against most pushes, and the Robo, again, for the Observer, but always being willing to suddenly cut probes and throw out some Immortals if need be, and with the production capacity from those 4 gates, he should be prepared against most pushes, but we can see that this is one of the scariest early pushes that a Terran can unleash.
It's important to note these Marines are unupgraded, but here comes half the SCV force, Sean. This is a one-base all-in. The attack has to work.
Looks like he really wants to end this game quickly. He's going to exploit the close positions. Oh no, misplacing the tank. The tank will be able to take a few shots and will be safely repaired by all these SCVs swarming him like little helper ants. And now we see Puma trying to approach, trying to re-siege up. He's exploiting this lip.
Oh no, the Immortal's stuck!
The Immortal is
stuck. He's got to build a Warp Prism, and that's going to cut his production in half. He needs that Immortal to handle the tanks, and Puma is pushing forward. He's able to reach that ramp, which means there's no way to go up there. He is pinned. He's a cornered cat.
But keep in mind, there are so many SCVs pulled off right now that Puma doesn't really have the best economy. There are those SCVs encroaching forward, trying to do a little bit of damage, a little bit of blocking there, doing a great job of that. The Warp Prism does successfully load up an Immortal. Squirtle might be going for a counter. No, he's actually just pulling back. Looks like he's trying to get this one Immortal in position, and the Marines are too far forward. He's dropping them. He's doing huge damage to this back line, but the Marines will not be able to pick it off in time. It does unleash one volley on that tank, and now he's approaching forward with all the Zealots and his Stalkers. Huge confrontation right now. The Zealots chewing their way through, but there are so many Marines here, and it looks like Puma will be able to defend this counterplay.
And with those medevacs, even unupgraded, those Marines are able to withstand all the DPS of this small gateway unit army. And now Squirtle's got to be going, what the heck just happened? He's losing on ropes. There's the GG.
It's a good